Hi guys, welcome to Oli Board. I'm Saurav, your science faculty, and welcoming everyone in Oli Board. And in today's session, we are going to discuss very important chapter, current electricity. Okay, in which we will discuss about current potential difference, types of cell, and etc. Okay, so this is very important chapter. Okay, and we will discuss about power also. Okay, and this power is different from our work energy and power chapter. Okay, let's start our today's session, that is current electricity, and please enjoy this session. Okay, so take your pen and paper also, please make the notes and try to understand each and every concept carefully because you will get questions from this chapter also. Okay, so let's start our today's session, that is current electricity. Awesome. So first we will start with the definition of current. What is current? And later we will discuss some other terms of this chapter. So electric current is expressed by the amount of charge flowing through a particular area in unit time. What is electric current? Basically, electric current is expressed by the amount of charge flowing through. What is current? Current is the amount of charge flowing through a particular area of cross section, in unit time. Okay, that is called electric current, and the simple and common definition is that it is the rate of flow of electric charges. It is the rate of, as I said, that rate here, rate, which means that we are dividing some quantity by time. So flow of electric charge, it is the rate of flow of electric charge. So if you divide electric charge, that is q by t, you will get what? Your electric current. So what is the formula for electric current? It is q by t. It is understood. Here in the figure you can see this is a conductor. Okay, this is a conductor, and let's say a cylindrical conductor, so it has some, obviously, some area of cross section. This is area, that is pi r square. This is the area of cross section of this conductor. And q, small q, 4 small q are the charge which flows through this area of cross section or through this conductor in unit time. Okay, these are the number of charges or the amount of charge flowing through this area of cross section in unit time. So the total charge, the net charge q, that is, what is net charge here? It is q plus q plus q plus q. It is net charge. What is net charge? 4q. So if net charge q flows across any cross section of a conductor in time t, let's say in time t, these all four charges flows out of this conductor of area of cross section A, clear, through the cross section is. So what is the value of current? Current is total charge or net charge upon time. Total charge upon, or you can say net charge upon time, it is called as electric current. It is understood. So very basic definition, it is the rate of flow of electric charge. Clear. What is the unit of charge? Coulomb. Okay, coulomb is the unit of charge. And what is the value of 1 coulomb? 1 coulomb, it is equals to 6 into 10 to power 8 electrons. Okay, 1 coulomb is equals to the charge contained by, it is equals to 1 coulomb of charge, it is equals to the charge contained by 6 into 10 to power 8 electrons. It is understood. And what is the SI unit of current? SI unit of current is, SI unit of current is ampere. Okay, very important. SI unit of current is ampere, and time is second, and charge is coulomb. Okay, very important. So what is the definition of 1 ampere of current according to this formula? What is the definition of 1 ampere of current? So 1 ampere of current, it is equals to the 1 coulomb of charge. 1 coulomb of charge flows out of the circuit or flows out of any conductor of area of cross section A in 1 second. This is called as 1 ampere of current. This is called as 1 ampere current. This point, the electric current is expressed by a unit called ampere. 1 ampere is constituted by the flow of 1 coulomb of charge per second, that is 1 ampere is equals to 1 coulomb upon 1 second. This is the definition of 1 ampere. Clear? So very basic thing, what is electric current? The rate of flow of electric charges. Now we will see the numerical use of this formula, that is I is equals to q by t. Whenever you solve any kind of numerical, please take care of that you are taking the values in SI units. Okay, whatever the quantities are given. Okay, change their magnitude into always in their SI quantities. Like in this example, a current of 0.5 ampere is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb, is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb. This is an electric bulb, clear, and it has some obviously zero point 0.5 ampere current is drawn by the filament for 10 minutes. What is the time is given? 10 minutes time is given. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. So you have to find the electric charge, that is Q. Q is equals to what? I into T, that is current into time. According to this formula you can write charge Q as what? Current into time, I into T. Current is what? 0.5 ampere. So as I said, you have to change the given values or the magnitudes into what? Into their SI unit, into their respective SI unit. But 0.5 ampere, so current is already in SI unit, so don't worry, just write 0.5. But time is given 10 minutes. But what is the SI unit of time? SI unit of time is second. Okay, so change this time into second, that is 600 seconds it is. So just multiply here by 600, just multiply this zero point 0.5 into 600. Clear? What you will get? You will get 300 coulomb of charge. You will get what? 300 coulomb of charge. Is it understood? So very important. This in this manner you can use your formulas in the numerical questions basically, if you get this kind of question in the examination, let's say. Clear? So always put the values in their SI units always, and you will get your correct answer. Okay, very nice. Let's move to electric potential and potential difference. What is electric potential and what is electric potential difference? So electric potential difference is defined as the amount of work done to carry a unit charge from one point to another point in an electric field. Clear? Let's say this is the direction of electric field. This is electric field. Okay, here you can see this is what? Electric field. And so some charge is here, some unit charge is here. Okay, this is some unit charge is here. Now if you want to take this charge to this position, at this position, okay, or from this position to this position, whatever you want to take, so you need to do some amount of work done, you need to do some amount of work done, and that work done, that required amount of work done, that required amount of work done to move charge from this position, from this position to this position, okay, to move the charge from initial position to final position, the amount of work done you are going to do, that amount of work done is called as electric potential difference. Electric potential difference. Clear? So how you can write a potential difference between 2 points? Let's say this is a point and this is some resistance and this is a point. Okay, and you want to move some charge from here to here. Okay, from here to here. Clear? So what is the electric potential difference between these 2 points? It will be equal to work upon charge. It is equals to work upon charge. V equals to W by Q. W is what? The amount of work done, what you did to move this charge from this point to this point. Okay, and Q is what? Q is the value of the charge you are moving, value of the charge you are moving. So W by Q, it is what? Electric potential difference between 2 points, that is work done by charge. Very important. Clear? Now what is the SI unit of electric potential difference? It is volt. What is the SI unit of electric potential difference? It is volt. 1 volt potential difference between 2 points in a current carrying conductor when 1 joule of work is done to move 1 coulomb of charge from one point to another. Okay, let's say the value of this charge is 1 coulomb. Okay, and to move this 1 coulomb of charge from initial point to final point, let's say you have done 1 joule of work, 1 joule of work. So what will be the potential difference here? Potential difference here will be 1 volt. Potential difference you will get across these 2 points, potential difference across these 2 points you will get as 1 volt, because 1 joule upon 1 coulomb, 1 joule upon 1 coulomb. This is the definition of 1 volt of potential difference between 2 points. Clear? Now the potential difference is measured by means of the instrument called voltmeter. Okay, how you can measure the potential difference? By using voltmeter. Okay, let's say this is some conductor, this is some conductor of resistance R. Okay, and you want to measure, you want to measure, it is connected with a battery here, and you want to measure the potential difference across this conductor. So you require a device which is known as voltmeter, and we always connect this voltmeter in parallel combination across the points, you can say, or across the conductor whose you want to calculate the potential difference, okay, in the parallel combination. Here you can see that voltmeter is always connected in parallel across the points between which the potential difference is to be measured. Let's say this is some appliance, whatever it is, let's say this is a fridge or appliance, okay, so you want to measure the potential difference of this fridge, so you will add any voltmeter in the parallel combination of this resistance or whatever it is, okay, whatever that instrument is, to calculate the potential difference. And this plus and minus represent what? This is battery, the positive terminal and the negative terminal of the battery. It is understood? Awesome. Let's move further. So next come to Ohm's law. Okay, next come to Ohm's law. So what Ohm's law says basically, that this is some conductor. Okay, R is the resistance of the conductor, and this is the potential difference. This is the potential difference across the conductor. Okay, and it is like battery also, it will act like battery also. Obviously if you are getting potential difference across any conductor, which means circuit is already completed here, so this is a battery, and this is the direction of current. Please note it down, current in the circuit always flows from positive to negative terminal outside the circuit, okay, outside the circuit. Electric current flows from positive to negative terminal, and inside the cell current flows from negative terminal to positive terminal, always just to complete this circular cycle, okay, just to complete this circular cycle. So what Ohm's law says, that here a small line is given, that imagine a conductor through which current I is flowing, okay, in this figure you can see current I is flowing, and let V be the potential difference between the ends of the conductor. So basically Ohm's law states that this potential difference is directly proportional to the current flowing in that conductor, is directly proportional to the current flowing in that conductor. And when you remove this proportional thing, what you need to do, you have to put some constant value here, and we put R as the constant, and this R is nothing but it is known as resistance. It is known as resistance of that device, resistance of that device which is connected here, resistance of that device which is connected here. Clear? So V equals to IR formula, it comes from where? It comes from Ohm's law. This formula comes from Ohm's law. Here you can see where the constant of proportionality R is called resistance of the conductor. The SI unit of resistance is ohm. What is the SI unit of resistance? Very important. It is ohm, and it is represented by like this. Okay, it is represented by like this and is denoted by the symbol. Here you can see. Clear? So I hope it is clear to everybody that what is Ohm's law. Clear? And now we will see about the resistivity. Okay, what is resistivity? So basically it is a you can say it is a property of the material. Okay, it is resistivity is something, it is the property of material, and it varies from material to material. Clear? So the resistance of a uniform metallic conductor, resistance of a uniform metallic conductor is directly proportional to its length and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Clear? First we will talk about resistance, that the proportionality constant which we have just saw in our earlier slide, that resistance is a proportionality constant. Okay, and so this resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Okay, and this resistance is also inversely proportional to the area of the cross section, which means if the area of the cross section of the conductor is high, then its resistance will be low, obviously if you are increasing the area of cross section, of any conductor, which means you are giving the space to the charge to move very easily through that conductor. Basically if you are increasing the area of the cross section, large quantity of charge can easily flow through that conductor. Clear? Now but resistance will decrease in that condition if you increase the area of the cross section, and resistance is directly proportional to length. As you increase the length of the conductor, the resistance of the conductor will obviously automatically it will increase. Clear? So two conditions, very important, that resistance is directly proportional to length and it is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Overall, in combination, you can say resistance is directly proportional to the length by area. Resistance is directly proportional to the length by area. And if you want to remove this proportional, you can put the proportionality constant here. We have put here what? Rho. That is R is equals to rho L by A. Just remove the proportional and proportional sign and put the constant here, rho. It is pronounced as rho, RHO. Clear? And it is known as the resistivity of the material. This proportionality constant rho is known as resistivity. Okay, and it is depends upon the nature of the material, where rho is proportionality constant and is called as electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. The SI unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. Now this proportionality constant is not unitless. Basically it is not unitless. Clear? It has some unit. How you can find the unit of this? You know that R is equals to rho L upon A. R is equals to rho L by A. Area is the area of cross section. R is the resistance. Resistance is in ohm. You know the SI unit of resistance, ohm. Rho, the value of electrical resistivity you want to calculate the value of its SI unit. Length, we calculate length in meter, and area is what? Area is meter square. Area, what is the SI unit of area? It is meter square. So from here this meter and this meter will cancel out and you will get rho as ohm into meter. Ohm into meter, this is nothing but it is the unit of resistivity. It is the unit of resistivity, that is ohm into meter. Okay, so very important. Okay, if you don't know the unit, then you can calculate their units from their formulas. Clear? From the formula of the given, you can say whatever we are talking about. Okay, let's say for here resistivity. Clear? You can easily calculate their unit. Now the resistance of the conductor depends upon three things. We know the formula, resistance is equals to rho L upon A. Rho is the resistivity, L is the length, A is the area of cross section of the conductor. Clear? So all these three things are very important, and resistance depends on all these three things. That is length, okay, length of the conductor, of its area of cross section, and on the nature of the material. Basically this nature of material decides what? It decides the resistivity of the material. It decides the resistivity of that material. Is it understood? Very nice. So I hope it is clear for you now, and let's move to electrical energy and power. So what is power? So the rate at which electric energy is dissipated or consumed in an electric circuit is termed as electric power. Very important. Electric power, where we use, kahan use karte hain hum? In our home, in our household appliances. Okay, basically what our household appliances do, they consume electrical energy. They consume some amount of electrical energy. Okay, every electric appliances in our home, how they work? They work by using the electrical energy or through the supply of electricity. Okay, so at that time when that appliance works, basically it consumes some amount of electrical energy, and in that condition electric energy dissipate. Okay, or then the amount of electrical energy consumed by that electric circuit, or the amount of electrical energy dissipated or consumed by that electric appliance, is termed as what? It termed as electric power. It's termed as electric power. Okay, you know, now we talk about that, let's say fridge. Okay, fridge, refrigerator, it takes high power. Okay, because it needs large amount of electric energy to work. Okay, similarly fan consumes less amount of power. Okay, and heater consumes very large quantity of electrical energy. Okay, it dissipates very large quantity of electrical energy. So it can, so basically the power, basically you can say the power is very much higher for the electric heater. Clear? So power is nothing but it is a electrical energy consumed in an electric circuit, in a simple way. Power formula is given as voltage into current, P equals to VI. Okay, and we know that from Ohm's law, V is equals to IR. So put the value of V equals to IR into this, you will get I square R, another formula of power. Current का स्क्वायर मल्टीप्लाइड बाई रेजिस्टेंस एंड पावर इज इक्वल टू potential difference into current. V into I is the main formula. V into I is the main formula, and I, you know that from Ohm's law, I is equals to V upon R. So you can put I here also, and you will get another formula of power. P equals to V square upon R. Okay, so these three possibilities of power formula is possible here. You can see. Okay, and you can apply any of the formula according to your requirements. Is it understood? Now, the SI unit of electric power is what? What is the SI unit? What is the SI unit of power? It is watt. It is watt. Clear? It is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volt. What is the basically definition of 1 watt of electricity or 1 watt of power? It is what? You know that power is equals to voltage into current. Power is equals to voltage into current means it is the power consumed by a device. 1 watt, I am defining 1 watt. It is the power consumed by a device that carries 1 ampere of current. I is the current, 1 ampere of current. That device carries 1 ampere of current when operated at a potential difference of 1 volt, which means voltage is of 1 volt. Clear? So multiplication of that 1 volt potential difference and 1 ampere current will give you the power of magnitude 1 watt. Is it understood? Clear? So very important. SI unit of electric power is watt. Okay, and कॉमर्शियल यूनिट इज किलोवाट आवर. ओके, किलोवाट आवर. हमारे घर में जो बिजली का बिल आता है, इट कम्स इन द टर्म्स ऑफ किलोवाट आवर. द इलेक्ट्रिक एनर्जी वी यूज इन आवर होम. ओके, commercial unit of electric energy is known as kilowatt hour, commonly known as unit. Obviously we consume the electricity in unit. Okay, 100 units bill, 2000 units bill. Okay, so 1 kilowatt hour is known as what? Unit. Clear? Very nice. So remember this, electric energy and power, very important. Now we will talk about cells. Okay, now we will talk about cells. So what is cell? Basically, first of all, a cell is a device which generates electricity by using chemical energy. What is cell? Cell in which a cathode and anode are there. Okay, and it generates electricity by using what? By using chemical energy. Okay, always a cell has two electrodes called positive and negative. Okay, immersed in an electrolytic solution where the electrodes exchange charges with the electrolyte. Okay, electrolytic solution means let's say some kind of acid is dissolved or some kind of salt is dissolved in the water, and that water contains electricity or that water conducts electricity. So let's say some electrolyte is here. Okay, this is some kind of electrolyte is here, and now there are two rods. Okay, there are two rods. Okay, one is positive and another is negative terminal. Clear? So they forms a battery. Basically this is what? This is cell. This is nothing but it is a cell. Current flows from cathode to anode through external circuit. Current flows from cathode. Basically the positive terminal is known as cathode and the negative terminal is known as anode. Okay, and in the external circuit, I told you already that current flows from what? Positive to negative side, from positive terminal to negative terminal, outside the circuit. That is, current flows from cathode to anode through external circuit, and current flows from anode to cathode through electrolyte. Okay, let's say now this is a small figure of cell. Okay, and so this is plus and minus, that is cathode and anode. Okay, this is your electrolytic cell. Okay, and so here in the external part of the circuit, current will flows from positive terminal to negative terminal, and inside the circuit it will flows from negative terminal to positive terminal, inside the cell. Clear? Very important. These 2 points are very important. These 2 points are just a question in your examination. Now electromotive force. What is EMF? Electromotive force, it is defined as the potential difference between electrodes when there is no current in the cell. Okay, when there is no any kind of circuit, when there is no any kind of circuit is here, when there is no any kind of circuit is here, when there is no any kind of circuit is here, and this is your cathode positive terminal and negative terminal anode. So the potential difference, between these two electrodes, how you can measure the potential difference? By adding Okay, the voltmeter in parallel combination to that cell. Clear? So you can measure the potential difference across the cathode and anode, and the value of that potential difference is known as electromotive force or EMF of the cell. That is known as EMF of the cell. I hope it is clear to everybody. EMF of the cell initiates the flow of current in the cell. Basically, EMF of the cell, it helps to initiate the flow of current in the cell. Now, what is internal resistance? It is the resistance offered by the electrolyte and electrodes when the current flows. Obviously, here is the electrolyte, and electrolyte conducts electricity, so it offers some resistance also. It will offer some kind of resistance also in the current flow. Similarly, the cathode and anode, they are made up of metals and they are also conductors, so they will also offer some kind of resistance to in the flow of the current. Clear? Resistance offered by the electrolytes and electrodes of the cell, that resistance is known as internal resistance of the cell, and it is denoted by small r. It is denoted by small r. This is known as internal resistance of the cell. Internal resistance of the cell. Is it understood? Cell in series. Cell in series combination. When multiple cells are arranged in such a way that the positive terminal of one cell is connected to the negative terminal of the other cell, and so on, it is known to be series combination. It is known to be in series combination. What this statement is saying, when the cells are in series combination, let's say I have one cell, okay, this plus and minus. Now this positive terminal of this first cell is connected to the let's say negative terminal of the another cell. Clear? And again, similarly, this negative terminal of first cell is connected to the positive terminal of the third cell, and so on, and so on. So this is called as series combination. This is called as series combination. When multiple cell, okay, this is one cell, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, this is five. When multiple cell are arranged in such a way that positive terminal of one cell is connected to the negative terminal of the other cell, and so on, it is known to be in the cells are in series combination. It is known to be the cells are in the series combination. Clear? Here you can see in the figure, this is your first cell and this is your second cell. Here R1 and R2 are the internal resistance. Here R1 and R2 are the internal resistance of these two cells. Clear? Is it understood? And this is the positive terminal, so outside the circuit current is flowing from where to where? From positive terminal to the negative terminal of the battery, and by combining they are making a big battery. By combining both, they are making what? They are making nothing but big battery, a big battery. For two cells of EMF E1 and E2, let's say they have EMF what? E1 and E2 connected in a series with R1 and R2 as their internal resistance. So what will be the value of R equivalent in series combination? We know that we just add the value of the resistance. In series combination, we just, what we do? We add the value of the internal resistance R1 plus R2. EMF is equals to E equivalent is equals to E1 plus E2. Okay, EMF, it is equals to E1 plus E2. Now EMF is what? Electromotive force, which means voltage. As I said, this is the potential difference between the electrodes of the cell when there is no any kind of current in the circuit. Clear? So EMF is what? EMF is nothing but voltage, and from Ohm's law we know that V is equals to IR. So you can replace this V by E for now E1. So E1 you can write what? I into R. Clear? I1 R1. I am just letting the value of, now E2 you can write I1 R2. Current will be the same. Current will be the same. So don't put I1. You can put I here. Okay, because current is same in the circuit. Now throughout the circuit, the value of current is same. Throughout the circuit, value of current is same. But R1 and R2 are the internal resistance of the cell. Two internal resistance of the two different cells, and even in E2 are their EMF. So from here you can see E1 plus E2 is equals to E equivalent. That is, it is equals to I R1 plus R2. This R1 plus R2 is what? These are internal resistance, which you can replace from R equivalent. So from here, E equivalent is equals to I into R equivalent. So it is following very nicely the Ohm's law, and R equivalent is nothing but it is the sum of two resistance R1 and R2. So from here you can see that in series combination, to calculate the resistance, equivalent resistance, what we do, we just add the resistance in series combination. Okay, and so this is the series combination of cells. Now we will talk about the parallel combination of the cells. Okay, cells in parallel combination. So when cells are arranged in such a way that the positive terminal of all the cells, that the positive terminal of all the cells, let's say these are three cells, positive and negative. When let's say you are adding these three terminals together, okay, through a wire, you are adding these three terminals together. Now this combination is called as what? This combination is known as parallel combination. This is first cell, and this is second cell, and this is third cell. Positive, all the positive terminal of these three cells are connected together, and by taking all the negative terminals of the cell, and you have connected them together. Clear? So this type of combination is called as parallel combination of the cell. This type of combination is known as parallel combination of the cell. Clear? Now, so when cells are arranged in such a way that positive terminal of all the cells are connected together and all the negative terminals are connected together, it is known as parallel combination. For two cells of EMF E1 and E2 connected in parallel combination with resistance R1 and R2 as their internal resistance, the formula is given. Their formula is given. R equivalent 1 upon R equivalent, it is equals to what? 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. This is the formula for R equivalent in the case of parallel combination. And what is the value of basically see why this is happening basically here. Why this is happening here? You can see here that let's say this cell has EMF E1 R1, E2 R2 and E3 R3. Clear? And I is the current flowing in the circuit, but when it comes here, it will divide it into three parts. The current will divide into three parts: I2, I2 and I3. Potential difference will remain the same across these 2 points. Okay, potential difference remains the same for every cell. Okay, potential difference will remain the same. Is it understood? Clear? Now you know that V is equals to IR. V equals to IR. For I1 you will get V by R. For I2 you will get what? V by R2, because potential difference is same, rest everything is different. R1 and R2 are the internal resistance and I2 and I3 are the current. Similarly I3 will be what? V upon R3. V upon R3. Now what is the value of the capital I? The total current. It is I1 plus I2 plus I3, because this total I current is now distributed into three parts for the three circuits. Clear? So if you add them, I1 plus I2 and I3, you will get 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3, and this I is I equivalent, overall I. This will be equal to V 1 by R equivalent. 1 by R equivalent. V 1 by R equivalent. So 1 by R equivalent, from here you can see 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3 plus 1 upon R4 and so on. Depends upon the how many cells are there. How many cells are there. Clear? Similarly, E equivalent upon R equivalent, it will be equal to E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. Clear? So this is very very easy and very very important. Clear? In when the cells are in parallel combination, potential difference is same for all three cells. Potential difference across them is same for all the cells, and their current is different. And in series combination, current is same, current is always same, but their potential difference is different. Their potential difference across the cell are different. Okay, very nice. So I hope you are able to understand the series and parallel combination of the cell. Now important notes. Cells are arranged in series to increase the voltage of the current. Okay, cells are arranged to increase the voltage of the current. Cells are increased in parallel combination to increase the value of the current. To increase the value of the current. These two inferences you can note down from these two combination of the cell. And here your class ends today. Okay, I hope guys you have